I'm Jordan, and today I'll be showing you how to play and enjoy Puzzinga by Zolizard Games, a game for 1 to 6 players of all ages. Puzzinga is a unique twist on Yahtzee that'll transport you and your family to the heart of ancient Egypt as you wander through labyrinthine corridors, collect hieroglyphic ruins, and activate powerful, forgotten scarabs. In order to win, players will compete to acquire the most points through strategic movement and risky rolls. Do you have what it takes? Let's find out. Begin by rolling the die to decide who goes first. The player who rolls the highest gets to go first. Play then continues clockwise. The starting player then rolls the 5 dice. Look at the results and then decide your strategy by looking at your score sheet. Which combination do you want to attempt? There are several options listed on your score sheet. You may attempt to roll all 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s, or attempt a number of other more complex combinations. When you have decided, place any keepers on the Eye of Ra in the center of the board. These dice are locked and cannot be used for any other purpose. With your remaining dice, choose one die to become the movement die. Once you've decided, move your pawn the number of spaces indicated on the chosen movement die. If you land on a number, change the movement die to that number and place it as a keeper on the Eye of Ra. For this example, we're going to attempt to form a big straight, which means having a 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 as keepers placed on the Eye of Ra. In this case, yellow was successful. Count up the dots and add 20 points to the big straight scoring category, then pass the turn to the next player. Remember, each time you roll the dice, you must select one die for movement. You have 3 rolls to attempt to complete your combo. If you manage to roll a perfect roll that you'd like to keep on your very first roll, you may forego a movement, record the result, score, and pass your turn like normal. In this example, black is going to be more gutsy and go for all 6s. After rolling 1 6 and placing it as a keeper on the Eye of Ra, they then choose to use the 4 die for movement and transform it into a 6, placing it as another keeper on the Eye of Ra. With 3 dice remaining, you may then roll the remaining dice up to 3 times in order to acquire your desired sequence. In this case, black rolls a 2 and 2 4s. Player 2 then chooses to use the 2 for movement, transforming it into a 6 and placing it on the Eye of Ra. After each roll, you may select any number of dice as keepers and place them on the Eye of Ra. They then roll the dice again, getting a 4 and a 3. They then choose to use the 4 for movement, landing on a 5 and placing it on the Eye of Ra. Bad luck. With their final roll, they manage to roll a 4, allowing them to move just enough to land on a 6. With that, the player manages to roll 4 6s and 1 5. The player then chooses which scoring category to use and excludes any dice that don't fit that category. In this case, the 5 is excluded and player 2 manages to score 24 points, beating player 1 by 4 points for this round. If you cannot score in any category, you must place a 0 in one category. Use each turn wisely. Remember, each scoring category on the score sheet can only be used once, with only one exception, landing exactly on the Eye of Ra, but we'll get into that later. Once finished, pass the dice to the next player clockwise. Play continues for 15 rounds, at which point players should no longer be able to score, having filled up all 15 scoring categories. Now this is where it gets interesting. If you land on a hieroglyph, place the movement die on the Eye of Ra without changing its value and bubble in the hieroglyphic symbol to record the acquired hieroglyph. At the end of the game, each glyph will add 5 additional points to your final total. Next, if you land on a scarab, draw a scarab card and immediately apply the effect. The power of the scarab is unpredictable, but will possibly unlock powerful combos if you're able to adapt to the will of the pharaohs. Finally, if you land on the Eye of Ra with exactly the right amount of movement, you gain 25 bonus points and immediately return your pawn to the starting point at the upper left corner of the board. This unique mechanism of scoring can be acquired as many times as you can accomplish it. Also, whenever a pawn encounters a wall, it will bounce off and move in the opposite direction by the amount of remaining movement left over. And with that, you should be more than equipped to venture into the perilous catacombs of Puzzinga. Thank you for watching, and please consider giving Puzzinga a place at your table.